Hello and welcome to Season 2, Episode 4 of the Trinisphere podcast. I am Squire 1, the Johnny, joined by...
Nikki Bolas, the Timmy.
And...
Snapmaster, the Spike. What's up?
Okay, and we are brought to you by Tapped Out. Today we are going to talk about the Great Designer Search. Specifically Trial 1, which was an essay portion. We're all going to kind of give our feedback, but we are going to put the Commander spin on it and more direct it instead of just about Magic, about Commander. So,
wait, can we raise a hands? Who's actually in it?
Me.
Oh, yes, yep, sorry. Well, we have one of us in it. That's good, right?
Yeah.
We have a 33% chance of moving to Seattle. So
Yeah, there you go. So,
Breaking up the team, jeez.
That's right. So we will start off. I have obviously answered these questions, so I'll want a little bit more input from you guys because
Right.
I don't want to just read my canned.
You're like this.
answer.
That's the wrong answer.
Right,
But
yeah. So we're gonna go through Trial 1, which was the essay portion, like I said, and the first question is: an evergreen mechanic is a keyword that shows up in almost every set. If you had to make an existing keyword evergreen, which one would you choose and why?
So can you go over like Evergreen, like kind of explain that a little bit?
real quick.
Yeah.
Evergreen.
So evergreen keywords are things like flying, trample, hexproof.
Right.
Things
Keywords. Okay.
that show up very regularly, and you will at least get one or two cards usually
They're not
in each set.
They're not usually like flavored to a planes.
So
They're usually globally used.
Correct.
Name a quick non-evergreen term that we've probably recently seen.
That we've recently seen.
Yeah,
Embalm.
sure. Embalm, perfect. Yep, that we just saw it.
Specific to that, even that one set, but also that plane.
That one
in
set. Then the next
plane.
set was like Eternalized, but yeah, that's the point.
So what are your thoughts? What should be an evergreen mechanic that could show up in any set?
What do you think?
Flashback.
Flashback.
So somebody told me that was really powerful.
Yeah, that's a really strong ability.
Okay,
it's really good.
I would put ready? Storm, Cascade, Flashback.
I mean, I think that's probably the right order.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how I look at it. I can't pick those two because clearly too broken for any format. Literally, like Modern's dealing with that headache right now. The point is, you swipe the other two. I mean, EDH is dealing with Metals from Water. We can't deal with Cascade. Like it's just too broken. 7 mana, cast 3 spells is what the hell. So Flashback is semi-broken, semi-balanced. The fact that you can cast the same spell twice is questionably unreasonable. However, the fact that most of the time, if it's appropriately costed, on the ass end when it's in the grave, it's okay.
Well, that's the thing.
We've been seeing Flashback kind of bust every time it becomes available. Like you had Jace Vryn's Prodigy, which kind of gave you like a pseudo flash, and it became a humongous, like a powerful card. It warped its format. Of course, there's Snapcaster Mage, the OG.
Yep.
We're getting this new red one, right? Which allows you to flash back one of their cards. You can see how balanced that is.
Asscaster Mage.
I
don't know his name.
So,
but...
I mean, I think Flashback can be balanced. I mean, I wouldn't be... Think about cards that have Flashback that are not super broken. There's one with a dude that looks like a rocket. I have no idea what it is. But it gives them like +3, +0, and first strike. It's a combat trick. So a combat trick with Flashback is not completely busted. Things like Forbidden Alchemy...
Yes.
Unburial rights.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh God, unburial.
Like okay,
rights.
now you're starting to talk about completely busted.
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah.
It's cheaper when it's in the grave, which was
that was weird with Unburial, man.
I thought that'd be a key way to balance it, but it went wrong.
Yeah, it went real sideways.
Yeah. Solar. What is it? Solar
flare. Yeah.
I don't know. Like the whole Flashback thing. I feel like. In Innistrad, they kind of went about it with a little weird. But even prior to that, the original Flashback was like I think a more appropriate costed for what it was, right?
Yeah. I think the power level went back up in Innistrad. Like before,
some Flashback costs were sack things, and they're still playable like Battle Street.
You know what? Here. Just don't give like blue Flashback.
Right.
Just keep it to like the other colors.
Yeah.
And then probably not black because they are able to put things in the graveyard easily.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So what about you?
Oh, I am thinking.
No Flashback?
I like Flashback a lot, but I also like cycling as another option. Mm-hmm. We recently came out of the Amonkhet block. Actually, yeah.
Yes.
You're still no.
No,
what are we in? We're in Ixalan now.
We're in Ixalan.
But we just came out of Amonkhet block, and I really like playing limited in that set because you had a wider array of cards that you could try and experiment with due to the fact that the floor of having like a 7-drop in your hand early game was mitigated by the fact that you can just cycle it away. So it increased the flexibility of the cards and made it a little easier to experiment and didn't punish you when you had like bad stuff.
So I agree that cycling could be more pervasive and we could see it more often. I don't know about making it evergreen because I think that if you have too much cycling,
yes,
then everything just becomes a rummage. You're like, oh hey, my whole hand. I don't like this.
That sounds
just
totally
partial
fine.
Paris.
That's totally fine to me. I want to say there's other like card games out there where you can like play dead cards in your hand as like mana sources and stuff like
or
that.
like more.
Yeah, or like you're like, I can't.
This is garbage, dude.
It mitigates the whole like bad feels of like, oh Jesus, I just
Yeah.
drew my starting hand. Why do I play so many 7-drops?
I can understand making like segmented releases of cycling.
Yeah,
like, I
sure.
agree with that because I do feel like there's a lot of EDH applications to periodic release of cycling cards because like you have Fluctuator, like it's old card, you know, that lets your cycling cost less. So you have like more cards that could be applicable to that kind of EDH deck. I do not feel like you'd be in every deck personally. Or I'm sorry, every set personally, because if it is, I believe there was a huge argument for limited when it came out for this again. When they like it was a lot, like you said, it was good for limited. Some people really don't like the fact that your 6-mana 6/6 is a 1 red cycle. I draw another card. It made the games go too long essentially.
The other problem that you have with cycling is that when you're talking about evergreens, there's usually a primary and a secondary color that they're predominant in, and so you really have to like define what those are going to be.
Oh yeah, when I think of cycling, I think of like basically all the colors are having access to it. You're just stapling this on.
Right,
all, like,
yeah, see,
every card that costs six or more mana has the option to be cycling.
That just changes the game.
Yeah,
like,
although that obviously helps reanimate it out
Right.
a lot. But all right, well, what do you think? What would your answer?
So I would go with Threshold.
I like it,
I think it's super easy for people to understand,
especially in EDH.
I actually really like the little gravestone thing that was in the original.
Oh my god.
Wasn't
that on the original flashback cards too? They had a little
Yes, yeah, they did.
Would you say that Threshold was pre-EDH?
No. It came out in what, Odyssey block or something like
I'm
that?
saying EDH was established prior to the set coming out.
Yeah.
Was it like renowned as it is today?
What, EDH?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Yeah,
So the reason I'm saying that is because do you think now with EDH being so established as it is that Threshold would be a safe mechanic to print?
Yeah, absolutely.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Based
I
off
don't
the
remember a lot of Threshold like bonuses being like back-breaking.
Right, exactly.
Like you didn't like really build around.
You're
Threshold
like,
too much, I
hey,
don't
this
think.
thing gives +3/+3 instead of +1/+1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
remember trying to play Threshold and not finding one card that's like,
I agree with you actually. I only posed that question just for argument's sake.
Yeah.
I would actually almost compare Threshold to the whole commander lieutenant thing that
Right.
happened. Like you get an effect already, but if you have your commander, you get another effect. So like Threshold is get an effect. If you have a graveyard of this, get an effect. So
and I could see it having like a primary of black anyway, and maybe a secondary of green. So like it fits right into Golgari.
Yes.
It's easy enough to turn on if you're trying to do that. It gets kind of a linear strat. You're trying to turn it on. It also will eventually turn on as the game progresses, similar to Ascend, which we've similar to Delirium, which we've seen. Delirium much harder to keep track of. This is just a count of how many cards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I really like Threshold. I think it's fairly easy to balance. I think you can throw it on a lot of cards. And it's kind of already defined in its colors, and I think it could stay there.
I think it does kind of make that color
it's
pie
actually-
a little like kind of narrow in that it's almost always graveyard centric, so you don't get like experimentation
Sure.
outside of what that color does. Black mainly.
It's actually
Just
funny
graveyards.
too because Threshold checks on resolution just like Ascend does.
No, they're kind of in similar design.
Yeah, they're like very similar. Like
Yeah, because
graveyard
you're just
versus...
counting board state essentially.
Yep.
All right, so let's move into the next question. By the way, in the comments, throw us what you think if you entered or if you didn't enter. Give us your opinion.
Yeah, let us know.
100%,
Let us know what the
please.
right answer was.
I would like to argue.
Let us know what the right
I guess
answer
it's an essay, so
I would
there are
like
no
to
right
argue
answers.
with
There are
people.
only dumb ones.
If Maro's watching, just put your comments right below for what the right answers are. So the next one is if you had to remove Evergreen status from a keyword mechanic, which one would you remove? We're gonna start with Spike here.
Defender.
Defender.
I have literal no arguments here.
I honestly, I'm getting to the point
Are we
now
supposed
where...
to devil's advocate to keep Defender around?
Okay, so...
Have fun. I'm out.
So walls in Defender were created very, very early on, and it was like this like low-costed big butt creature that you could depend on.
Yeah, back then it was strictly called walls.
Well, they were just walls, and walls had defender by default.
Exactly. So they started morphing it into like this weird thing. But the point is that now defenders, even in standard sets, like the one I remember specifically was better yet, one that just got released in this most recent set. It was Rivals of Ixalan. It's a 4-mana 4/4 defender.
What?
Why are we doing this?
Why?
It's a 4-mana 4/4 that can't.
Because you made a walk.
Why not just say can't attack?
I don't know. Well, I agree. It doesn't need to be a keyword.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand.
You don't have to have a defender.
We're wasting it.
Yeah.
We're wasting our time.
Are we also saying that by
efforts?
removing from Evergreen, it also reduces the chance that it reappears in another set, right? Like,
you add,
and that's great because I think Defender, as unique as it was, I think it's just better in Magic to have the flexibility of attacking. Like that slows the game down.
Right.
Defender, they actually don't get played very often. As
Thank
they
you.
are.
Yes,
they
exactly.
You almost never want to pick one of these creatures. So if we were to say that by removing Evergreen, Defender starts showing up in new sets as frequently. Thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
What isn't wall a creature type?
It is.
Exactly. So what the heck?
There's like a Prowler's Helm or something. It says cannot be blocked except by walls. And I'm like, what?
Why?
It doesn't even say defender. It says walls still.
Yeah.
Anyways.
One of the familiars is a wall pass.
Well, there was that siege dragon or whatever that came out not even that
Oh
long
yeah,
ago.
when it like swings destroy all walls.
Yeah.
And then like if it hits them and they don't have a wall, do something else.
I think we can move away from defender. I completely agree.
I appreciate that you guys can agree with that kind of
following the same kind of logic, I'm thinking if by removing from Evergreen it stops showing up so much, I want to get rid of hexproof.
Yeah.
I can also agree with that.
I don't like that entire concept. I did like Shroud more, but I've heard arguments that they kind of changed Shroud into hexproof because
Troll
newer
Shroud
players
was very popular.
Which one?
Troll Shroud.
Troll
which
Shroud
is
was
what,
it?
Yeah.
Right, which got turned into hexproof essentially.
Right. Well, it was very popular back, 15 years ago. I'm sorry we haven't seen a lot of that.
I understand.
Well,
I also think it creates a lot of issues in it's creating issues in other formats. I mean, Infect would not exist if you didn't have as many low cost
whatever it is.
hexproof creatures. I mean, Bogles is the same way.
No. Boggles is the hexproof version. All the spells in Infect make them hexproof.
Oh, that's right.
So you have one unblockable.
Well, that's a problem too. Like, take out that keyword.
They all say it cannot be targeted by opponent spells.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it says.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it. It just reduces interaction, and it leads to some feel bad situations. And there's occasionally a creature that's just busted.
Yeah, I mean, Shroud leads to some feel bad situations too. I mean, like you can't equip your own creatures. And
that does suck too. Let's just get rid of all of this non-targetable stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
that's a bold one right there.
Or at least maybe like make it an activated ability, not a static thing that's always available. Make them pay money so that you can interact more and they have to play more with the mechanic.
Yeah. So I am going to go for a newer one. It was one of the newest added keywords as Evergreen, and it was a cute experiment. Great job, Wizards. You tried it out. Prowess sucks.
Why don't you like it?
I agree.
No, I have to ask.
Yeah. So Prowess is... Here's why I don't like it, and I'm specifically...
In all formats or EDH?
No, in EDH.
Okay.
Because it's bad in EDH.
It's terrible in EDH.
Yeah.
Garbage.
It's great in limited.
100%.
I can't stand that we've moved to a paradigm where sets are simply driven toward limited play.
I agree.
You can say, when you cast an instant or sorcery, this gets +1/+1. It's not that many words. It's not that hard to understand. You put the reminder text on there anyway with Prowess.
Or remove it Evergreen and then attach other things to it. Like, not maybe just a +1/+1. Maybe you start adding other effects into there. Narrowing it down to a 1/1 makes it a combat-centric ability in a spell-slinging deck. It makes it a very unique.
It's trying to be Combat Storm, right?
Which is just 100%. You guys have to understand though, like they were going through like a really rough patch, I would say, with the whole Prowess thing, because if you notice, there's a lot of creatures through the Cons and Origins and Dragons of Tarkir phase where there's like they remove Prowess from it, but it was like, oh, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature does this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? Like, it's almost like they were looking at like what they could have done with a non-creature effect, and Prowess just kind of was like, it seems the most simple thing to just push through.
Yeah. Sure, and it's very easy to understand, and I do get that. And they were trying to. I mean, part of the rationale was they were trying to give identity to, is it colors?
Yes,
and I get that. If you can't figure out because they have less creatures than everybody else that it's supposed to be spell slingery, then prowess just isn't doing it for me. All right. So we're gonna skip over the fourth question because it's about how you teach somebody to play Magic, and honestly,
browbeat them. Browbeat. Draw 5, draw 3, or take 5.
Welcome,
Pick one.
Welcome to the game.
We play Commander, so I think that the answer inevitably is going to be, well, do they know how to play Magic yet? No. Okay, we're probably not going to start them with Commander.
Yeah,
so,
it's a bit to chew.
Point. Yep.
You know. All right, so we're going to move into the fifth question, which was, what is, and I changed it a little bit to be toward Commander. What is Commander's greatest strength? And Shannon, we'll start with you. I'm sorry, Timmy.
Oh yeah, as a Timmy, Commander is all about getting to play things that cost more than 4 mana, basically. Games actually go. You have 40 life. You have 100 cards. It allows a lot more flexibility in deck design, which is my biggest draw to it. I used to play a lot of Standard, went to tournaments and all that stuff, but I just like to brew like crazy decks. So I used to do that at FNM, but got tired of like a lot of these really tuned and meta solved decks, just being easy to pilot, easy to win. So I started to gravitate more towards EDH, and so now I exclusively play EDH due to the fact that I have built maybe close to 100 decks, and there's still plenty of stuff to do.
Yeah.
And it changes frequently enough. It's just tons of variability and flexibility.
I agree with your sentiments. I do want to note we generally all play, with the exception of Snapmaster, we generally all play multiplayer EDH exclusively.
Yes.
You play some
yes,
1v1 online.
Yeah.
But because that kind of changes some of.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, there is a
about.
meta for 1v1 that
And
has
it's
to be
a little more, and it's a little more solved than.
Yeah, there's a tier list. And
yeah, exactly.
It's pretty,
Like
it's
playing,
pretty
like I can't play Thoughtseize in.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I can play Thoughtseize very easily in 1v1 and know that I'm ripping a card
absolutely.
that's going to cause me grief.
So what is your what do you think the greatest strength of Commander is?
Personally, I think it's the diversity in meta. The reason I say that is simply because I can go into Modern and know the top 4 decks. I can go into Standard and know the top 4 decks. Maybe not right now because there's banning, but whatever. The point is I can go into any of these formats, Legacy, and I can ask the person next to me and be like, hey, what's being played most right now? And they tell me, oh, it's it's Workshops, or oh, it's Storm, or oh, it's this. And I'm like, okay, when I sit down at an EDH table and I sit down with my mono black deck and I'm like, I don't really care what the meta is because I know for a fact that my deck should be able to combat these decks. But it is very nice and it's very refreshing to encounter something you don't know about.
Right.
It really
really awesome.
is.
Sitting down and be like, oh my gosh, I have never seen
Holy
this deck
crap,
before.
I just got blown out by someone.
Yeah.
We've been playing I've been playing for close to 10 years, and I still sometimes I don't even know what that commander, or I've never seen a deck built around this commander before.
It's so refreshing to sit down and have a new style of play and a new player, or even bringing a new person in and being like, dang, they did something.
And so what I think the greatest strength in Commander is you two guys. No.
He just touched my heart with his
No, but I mean I think it's a little bit of both of what you were saying, but to me it's the kind of brewability. Every time a new set comes out, or every time any change happens to the environment, there's just so much that you can do. There's so many avenues. Like you can build the same commander so many different ways.
That's true.
And
we used to do that little brewing challenge where you come up with the same deck 3 different ways.
Right.
Yeah.
And just that ability to
foreshadowing future episode.
And just that ability to have unique decks and build and brew, like that's really what I think.
Also, shout out to politics.
Sometimes
I enjoy that. Sometimes
I don't care about that.
Sometimes Spike may be on the receiving end of bad plays due to politics.
The salt hurts.
You can check out our recent episodes.
Salt rain.
All right, so let's move into the next question of the inverse of that. What do you think that the greatest weakness is and why? We'll start with Spike.
Commander?
Of Commander.
Oh, God. Dirty casuals. And by that I mean,
if you're not
all
generating
EDH
5
players,
mana,
like,
if
are
you're
you
not
trying to
generating 5
alienate-
mana on turn 2, you are get out of my face.
no.
Yeah.
When I say it, I mean it in a less direct way. I mean it.
Not my words.
For me, as a spike, it is very. What's the word? I'm sorry. It is very unfortunate for me to sit down with 3 other individuals. Like, let's say I'm the spike, and I sit down with 3 people I've never met, or anyone like that. And I sit down, and someone is confused on what Secure Tribal Order does, or Azusa, or any like very, very renowned card in EDH.
Right.
Is confused if I play Yogg-Will, Soul Ring, and they say, "What does that do?" I have very little interest.
So what if that person has been playing EDH just as long as you, and they do that?
That tilts me even harder. I throw
dare you.
salt packets at them. I walk out of the door. I slam it. I left my deck inside. I gave it to them. They can have it.
Yeah, there you go.
Have a good day, sir. You get nothing.
Charity donation.
All right, so
Hopefully they read the cards.
Timmy, worst part about Commander.
It's gonna be the arms race, I would say.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a really
Yeah, you may be playing with the group right now, and you guys are like pretty relaxed, pretty chill, and then all of a sudden somebody's like, "Hey guys, I invested in a Mana Crypt," and you're like, "Well, that was a really big investment," and then they play Mana Crypt, and they pretty much win that game, and then they play Mana Crypt again, and you're like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta go get a Mana Crypt now."
Yep.
It's so hard to keep up with these, and then everyone starts throwing money. And pretty soon, you've all spent hundreds of dollars on EDH, and it went from casual to a little more competitive.
Yeah,
Our group is
not
now a
so
little more
casual.
competitive. Yeah. And then you get these new guys that used to be like inviting people over, and they come over and they have their pre-con with 10 changes, and people.
And you're
are
like, I
comboing.
feel real bad.
I mean, and then they get salt thrown in their eyes by this guy over here.
It was a simple Armageddon. I don't know why. Out of curiosity, what's your opinion?
Yeah.
John Nay.
Inconsistency of band list.
Oh my gosh!
You know what?
You gotta talk about this.
I know
again.
you're
like straight up shots fired.
No,
I
you're
understand,
straight.
but
Shoot the flares.
Oh my gosh! We can't go like an episode without him bringing up this ban list thing.
I mean, there's a recurring
Look,
element. Like,
it's true. It's true. There are things that are banned that either should or shouldn't be, but then you have to ban other things to make it consistent.
So are you pro homogenizing the ban list, getting all those extra like
In
hand
either
ones?
direction, I'm fine.
Or take it all back. You can no ban list. Everything goes.
In either direction, I'm
Doing a
fine
clean
with it.
swipe?
As long as it's consistent, I'm good.
oh.
Yeah.
So-
You can't tell me that this type of card that costs $1,000 that does the same thing as this other one should and shouldn't be banned versus another one that should or shouldn't be. Like, you can't make a rationale for why A is and B is not in a lot of the cases.
Can you give me like a specific example that comes to mind when it is
So like Tolarian Academy is banned,
right?
but Mishra's Workshop isn't.
Ah, okay. That is strange.
Mishra's Workshop is $1,500. Tolarian Academy is not. Or Tolarian Academy?
Yeah, no, you got it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tolarian,
It's like $30.
And they both make quick artifact mana.
Yeah.
One adds colors, one adds blue. That's
What?
argument.
Yeah. There's
That's argument. I'm
there's
sorry.
part of the argument.
That's kind of a minor. So they use the price of the car as a mitigating factor to the ban list, right?
Not price. They said availability, but then if
Which
you
is
make
probably
Right.
correlated to the price of the car.
Well, what?
Yes.
No,
Well-
that's the Urza block. So like having Cradle and
yeah, Cradle not being banned. Is
Academy is the same thing, right? Like,
and Cradle's not banned, but Academy is.
and maybe they're
Is
saying
Sarah
that
Sanctum
artifacts
was
are
banned?
more easily accessible.
Sure,
than
fair
creatures.
enough. Fair. There's a lot of
I'm not
arguments,
making
but
argument.
but when you compile them, you're like, okay, Mishra's Workshop. Well, it's really rare. Like it's arguably more powerful than a Mox Ruby. I play a land and I get 3 mana instead of I play something and I get 1 mana.
Right.
Both are kind of busted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Workshop is more expensive and more rare.
Yeah. All right.
So
Yeah, I guess they could take a closer look at it.
Just the consistency.
It might be
I'm not
them.
saying
It might be
that-
them like placating the whole reserve list people. Like I don't want my Mishra's Workshop.
Right,
But it
exactly,
doesn't explain
yeah.
like power 9
So-
advance and stuff.
So anyway, that's I know. We'll have that fight. I'll have that fight with somebody.
Don't worry. Tune in next week where he talks about the ban list.
All right. What commander? Again, it said Magic, but I'm switching it. What commander mechanic most deserves a second chance, aka had its a worst first introduction compared to its possible potential? So I'm gonna start.
Yeah, no, I want you to start because
right,
yours
start.
is probably shit.
Oh Jesus!
It is.
Don't disappoint.
Partner.
Oh,
I like
okay.
partner.
Okay, you know what? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all the partners. There's 15, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I feel like they
More partners.
should more partners. Like,
More
just
partners.
keep doing it. Like,
and I'm not even saying like a lot of them. You could even
No.
put it, slap the partner mechanic on one or two creatures in an entire
Block.
commander set.
Yeah.
Like you get 5 new decks. There's only 2 cards with partner.
That's fine.
You have any
Yeah.
idea how many combinations that just created? Like,
Yeah,
so
but I mean,
many.
but one of the problems is like partners are supposed to be basically half of a legendary like rare, basically.
yeah, half of a legendary. So take a legendary uncommon, put partner on it,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
and you now
Yeah,
have
I
a
like
static
that.
ability that
Yeah, I like that. You basically upgrade an uncommon to
Right.
a legendary and just slap partner on it, and then you got more
It
flexibility.
allows us to get colorless ones if you do like artifact decks. It allows us to get tricolor ones, so you could have
Oh
like
my
a
gosh,
5 color.
a colorless
Right.
like tag on commander. That would be awesome.
Right.
You could just any deck would just
Monocolor ones. So
Yep.
you had just all this diversity. It makes some variants that you might hear about in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Super fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That we like to play.
that'd be cool.
Yeah. So I'm all for seeing more partner. I'm really disappointed that they didn't put it back out with the last Commander product.
I was expecting it, honestly.
I was
A
expecting it too,
rollback.
but hopefully they do come back to it. So, Timmy, tell us about your what
one
you would-
mechanic that I really liked that I would like to see more and explored more is Tempting Offer. And that was a mechanic where when you cast a spell, you get an effect. Then your opponents also have the option to cash in and get that same effect, but then you get that effect again. So this came up a couple times. It's most commonly the one that fetches for a land.
Yeah,
And gosh,
Discovery.
everyone says yes. I'm
So
like,
here's the problem.
this is how it goes.
No, so you say that, but I play that in one deck. I play
Yeah.
that card, and nobody says yes.
really?
Yeah, and
Every time I see yes, I am the last person to get a pick in priority, and I go, guys, don't do it. And
Right.
and the guy to the left of him says, I'm gonna do it. And everyone goes, well, then we all have to do it.
Yep.
Yeah, if one
Yep.
person
Which is
just like folds, everyone
Yeah.
folds.
What I've noticed is that the usefulness of that mechanic is like a study in entropy.
Yeah.
Like day one, everybody's like, "Well, it seems good. I want like 10 goblin tokens."
Yep.
Yeah.
And then like a year later, everybody's like, "This is dumb." Everyone say no.
Yeah,
It's not gonna
you'll hear
happen.
me. You'll hear me be like, guys, don't do it. You don't need. You do not need a Temple of the False Gods. He's
Right.
getting Cradle.
Right.
And you're gonna go get Temple of the False Gods. Stop. And they're like, but
No,
I
he's
kinda
getting
want it.
Cradle Temple.
Yeah.
Ancient
Or Cabal Coffers,
Yeah.
Urborg. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, please don't do it. It was
So
super.
I would not like to see its return because I think that
Well, okay, I argued a lot against this one bad case, but it has a lot of flexibility and it has a lot of politics. Which I
it does
really
have a lot
like.
of politics. It has a lot of conversation around it, but man, is it
They
It's
It's
interesting.
unbalanced.
You get in people's heads. I
They
like it.
kind of did this weird, like, I would say fluctuation of Tempting Offer, where they did like it was Commander 2015,
Are you talking about joint forces?
I think.
Oh, Joint Forces.
No,
is
not
really
Joint
bad.
Forces.
I like
no,
Joint
no.
Forces a
no,
lot.
no, no. It was the one that said, pick an opponent. I'm sorry, pick an opponent. You and an opponent draw
yeah,
3
yeah,
cards.
yeah.
Then it says pick another opponent.
Oh yeah,
You
the
and that
offerings, the
The
offerings,
offerings.
cycle, yeah,
It's
intellectual
They
offering.
kind of
and
did
whatever.
like a weird offering version of
Yeah,
cards.
that one was
yeah.
really cool too because
Yeah.
you could
That one,
finagle
that
it a
one
bit.
I liked. I didn't like the design of a lot of the cards.
They were
but
bad. They were bad.
You were
They're
like,
bad cards.
gosh, I'm giving my opponents too much
right,
for these.
but I did like the design
Yes.
idea, the design space that was there. All right, so Spike, what do you think?
what mechanic do you want to bring back? Let me see it again.
Eminence.
Oh,
Eminence.
Okay, I like the idea of having something in my command zone that I don't have to play to have some sort of effect.
Like Ellora.
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't
gosh.
have eminence.
Huh?
It doesn't have eminence.
No, it should have.
Yeah.
Well, because it doesn't need to be a keyword, basically.
It should be. He should have had Imminence. Or
But-
they should eliminate Imminence and create commanders that just have effects in the command zone.
Yeah.
But
They've
Imminence
been
should be
playing
the
around with
keyword
it.
on it is the point.
They've been playing around with it, and sometimes it's straight busted.
Yeah.
Like Derevi was one where like
Oh god.
that set was all about manipulating or like the commander cost. Like,
Yeah.
being a big factor into how you cast your commanders. So,
So
but
4
also
mana Flashbird.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it was 3.
busted.
It was 4 to put to play, 3 to cast naturally, 4 to flash into play.
Yeah.
And then you like Parash, who was humongous, but Eminence I think is really cool too. I think it's a little strong. Well, I thought it was gonna be too strong because Ellora was like infamously annoying.
Yeah.
to play against.
Yes, exactly.
But they all felt kind of balanced. Like the Cat Tribal one was pretty. No one was going to play Cat Tribal rarely.
What do we have?
That
We
one,
have
one
Cats,
Arabo
Wizards.
player out there. Link your list. I would
Yeah.
like to see it. But I really like the Anala one
Hot
now.
suit.
Yeah.
And Nala, God.
Yeah, it sucks because she was completely overshadowed by Kess Dissident Mage and that set.
Yeah, Kess is way better.
But
good.
I'm running it in all this, and I'm really loving it. I'm gonna try and play it sometime and see if we can cast a bunch of wizards. I do like Eminence.
I don't even remember what the other tribes were in.
There was
last year.
Was it Edgar?
Oh, vampires.
Markov.
Oh, his Eminence was really
His was
good.
probably
Very
yeah.
strong. Cast trigger. Cast
the
trigger.
Dragon was the other one who made dragons cost 1 less. It's like
Honestly,
whatever.
not that great.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right. So moving on to the next question. The next question is: of all the Magic expansions you've played with, pick your favorite. Let's start with our favorite, and then I'll read the rest of the questions. So, Spike, what's your favorite set? you played
Innistrad.
with? Innistrad. Okay. Now tell us the biggest problem with it.
Flashback.
Flashback was the biggest problem.
Wait,
you just argued.
It's too good, but we need more of it.
Limited or EGH?
We're talking about EDH.
Oh,
EDH,
okay. Biggest problem for Innistrad. Well, apparently, like Grizzlebrain.
Yeah, they got the old band hammer.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Was he?
Boom.
He wasn't in Innistrad.
He was in Avacyn, which is the Innistrad block.
Expansion.
Oh jeez.
Oh,
Oh jeez.
Rick.
Oh
Oh,
jeez,
jeez,
Rick. You
Rick.
just got you got rules lawyered.
Okay, Innistrad itself. What we have that was super important. We had Lily and we had Snap, and I guess that's all that matters.
Can't find a thing wrong.
Okay.
Wait,
No problems with Innistrad. It was the perfect block.
no, it wasn't perfect.
Werewolves.
How
worked
about
perfectly.
flipping cards?
Yeah.
How
That
about
was, oh, that was the first.
werewolves?
It was the first
Double
thing.
face cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the start, wasn't it? That was
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it
the
all
beginning,
began.
The happening.
It was.
The happening
Yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
It was
And
garbage.
we've been paying ever
I don't know.
since.
I don't know why we. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why we went down the flip card route either. I can get on board with
Yeah.
not liking
I
that.
don't know what
All right.
happened.
Well, what is your favorite set?
All right. So mine is Legends.
What a
Oh
surprise.
my god.
What's your favorite card?
Okay. Okay.
All right. So
Okay.
specifically for Commander.
Hack and Deckblade.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they kind of like developed Standard as a set as like a format.
Well,
Beyond
yeah.
the Dragon Highlanders.
Legends was literally the reason why
Yeah.
EDH exists.
Yeah.
So that's
Oh, the original 5 dragons came from that set?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess you gotta
Nikki
pay
B.
homage
Nikki B.
to-
Yeah.
There.
Yeah.
All
The
five of them.
the
Yeah.
book reading Nikki B. Hilarious.
Hello.
I'm studying. Pay my upkeep.
I wear glasses.
So yeah, I mean I have to say Legends because it really did start everything, and it had some good cards, some good legendary creatures for the time. I mean, you have to remember creatures in general back in Legends.
Yeah, they're power
sucked
creep.
by comparison.
Yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
4-mana 1/1 with.
There's like
nothing.
there's like 7 mana 5/4 vigilant.
But you also had some good ones that still see some level of play.
Oh yeah.
You had
Name one.
Angus McKenzie.
Nope. Never seen
What's
it.
what's the blink dude that makes mana?
$80 card that does nothing. Got it.
Blink guy who makes.
Rasputin Dreamweaver.
Oh,
haven't seen it.
There's one deck that has.
Yeah, that really likes.
Yeah,
Raven
it's
Dude.
one deck.
One in
James
1980
Bond.
got it.
No, now.
Nope.
Yeah,
haven't seen
Brago.
it. No, haven't seen it.
How about
That's 'cause
that one?
nobody can
How
afford
about
it.
that one that you run? The Esper. girl.
Hizazon.
No, the Esper girl.
Oh, Marieki Reed Barrett. She was also
Uh,
reprinted.
do you want to know why no one actually
In Time Star?
gives a fuck? It's because
No.
no one can pronounce the names.
Yeah.
Just like no one
Yeah.
can pronounce the names of Elder Dino Highlanders. Like no one gets. No one
I mean, yeah. It's got a little bit of Kamigawa problem. But,
Rotali.
Aiden,
Natalie.
Aiden Oakenshield is still totally playable. As
Don't
a
know
junk
what that
man.
one is.
Nope, no one cares.
Wait. How about the Jund one that target player draws a card? Was that from that set?
Oh, that's real bad. Yeah, something Aaron or yeah, I don't know. But yeah, so
It's
obviously
where it all began.
Obviously, it's where it all began. Obviously, the bad part, the worst part about Legends is all of the other cards that we didn't mention. Basically, I'm sorry.
I haven't taken a deep dive.
Let me mention Moat.
Wait, those are good cards.
And then we'll move past.
That's what
those are some of
this is the roots of EDH, man. You gotta pay respect.
Yeah.
The roots.
Yeah. It's like liking rock and roll and not listening to Robert Johnson.
Who's that?
I hate you.
Thanks, Dad.
Let me talk about Shards of Ellora, which is my favorite. It's actually when I started playing Magic again. I played when I was much
That's
younger.
a really good block. Oh my god.
It was a good block.
Yeah, we came into Magic and we're like, what is Magic now?
That's
insane.
exactly.
Yeah.
We didn't know anything about drafting. We're drafting triple Ellora
Planeswalkers,
Reborn.
there's 3
We're
colors.
doing triple Ellora Reborn. Like you had to play 5 color to get your deck to work.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It was the greatest re-entry. The only problem with it was probably Cascade was just too dang good.
Cascade's real.
Yeah.
It was
makes
so
sense,
good.
makes sense.
I still love it though. I hate to say that it's a problem because I love Maelstrom Wanderer and I love Cascade and I love Maelstrom Nexus and I love Maelstrom. Man,
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I
just
was
super-
not playing during that time. Like it was during one of my hiatuses. Hiati. I don't know how to say that.
Haiti.
Yeah, that's it. That's
That's
it.
Haiti,
Yeah,
actually.
it's definitely not a country. But I love like every time I look through the cards from that block, and there's
It's
still
so
some totally
awesome.
unplayable cards. Like there's great cards. From
It
that.
made blue Thopter creatures. I'm like, I was like looking for something. I can't remember what I was working with. Maybe like Thopter Spy Network, and I came across maybe it was Sharding Sphinx itself, and I was like,
yeah.
and I was like, oh my gosh, they're all colorless except they used to be blue in that set.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I literally have looked through this set multiple times. This is before my time. I did not join Magic when this was
Yeah,
happening.
he was in diapers still.
Yeah, no,
In the womb.
I was basically dead. I
Not yet born, but okay.
Existentialism.
same thing. No, I looked at the set. I've seen it so many times. I'm just like, oh my god, they had cards like Godsire. We don't.
Yeah.
What about Woolly Thopter or a 5/4?
No, Woolly Doctor. What the fuck? A fucking 3
5/4
mana,
for
5/4 vanilla.
That
Like
was- yeah.
what?
It was,
What were they think? Like those shards. Like is that where Rock's Warmonk is from?
Yeah, that
like,
was the Bantz version of that
card
card.
was
that
amazing.
set is so dope. Like
Yeah.
let's cost
So much
let's
fun.
cost things more different colors mana and make them good.
I mean,
Yeah,
you have what?
everything was
Rafika the
power.
Many.
Oh, yeah,
Rafik-
Rafik-
no, oh
the
my
entire
gosh,
result.
like that whole set was amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was,
Love
They
it.
will never recreate that.
Can't
again.
I say it every time they talk about returning to the set. I'm ready to return to Ellora.
Yes.
Oh, that could be cool. That could
Yeah.
be real cool. All right, so now we're kind of flipping it for question
All right.
number 9, which is the worst or least favorite Magic expansion that you've played with, and then explain the best part of it.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with Timmy.
I'm gonna have to go with the second Theros block.
Born of the Gods.
Set. Born of the Gods.
Yeah.
Because that's the one with the tribute, right?
It has tribute in it. I'm
Yes,
pretty
it
sure.
What the hell were they thinking you would tribute? I don't understand. Like, okay, because everyone's playing Browbeat.
Didn't
Let's
it
give them-
replace Monstrosity too?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was gone. No,
Monstrosity was good, and they're like,
Monstrosity was
nah.
fine.
Nah.
When did they both happen?
No, Monstrosity was in Theros only. You're right, actually.
So what did they replace tribute with in the
I think
third
tribute
set?
was in the third set also.
No, I thought they switched. I
think
think was
it
that the Inspired or whatever. Either way,
I don't know. It was
Inspired
bad.
was
Either way,
important.
I
Inspired
hated
was
that
important.
set. First of all, I appreciate that they tried to get the whole set being
Heroic was also in there.
Yeah, the whole set being enchantment centric. They try to get enchantments to work again. Bestow was actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they
It
started
was real bad.
they tacked on draw
Yeah.
card to like a bunch of things to try and get people to play them, and they still didn't really happen.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, I hated the whole concept of tribute. Like, was terrible. You get the worst,
So the best
And-
part of it.
and
The best
and
part is what you're
so
just
like the effect should have been way more powerful if you're giving your opponent to choose the worst of the two options. They didn't ever seem powerful
Yeah.
enough to me. So.
that was the best part.
Oh, I'm sorry. The best part. The best part of it would have been the gods.
Yeah.
The gods were. I love the gods. They're great in EDH. They've been impacted EDH. They are staple
you're not
staples for commanders. And you got. I think that was the first set with the multicolored ones.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Monocolor ones were in Theros.
So you had the ally color ones. So you got Fenax, which I like to try and mill people out with that, and Xenagos is a pretty popular Timmy one as well.
All right. So Spike, I feel like we're gonna continue this hate train on a specific block.
Yeah, unfortunately enough, we have, Theros, and we have
Theros was great, by the way.
No, we have Theros.
was
We have,
solid.
we have Theros, which that's where Heroic was.
Yeah.
And then we have Born of Gods, and then we have my least favorite set of all time, which is Journey of the Nyx.
That block hate.
That set was so trash, I actually stopped playing Magic.
Oh!
No, the bestow
The
mechanic.
salt was so
No.
thick that it actually tilted you to the point.
Bestow is really bad. They're like, let's take a 3 mana, 1/1 with double strike. Let's cost it 6 and put it on something.
Yeah.
I get that it falls off and turns into a dude. I really like the design space there. That was really cool.
I thought it was
Yeah.
cool.
I
like the idea of having
yeah,
an achievement
yeah.
fall off into a dude. But my 6 mana investment falls off a dude and turns into a 1/1 with double strike. What the hell does that do for me?
Okay, so that is true. We are supposed to discuss the best part of it.
Oh, best part, God packs. Journey to Nyx. No.
The chance of getting all gods.
Okay, if you guys buy a box of Journey to Nyx right now, you probably find it on eBay for $4. If you buy a box of Journey to Nyx and you get a pack, one pack could contain, instead of 15 randomized cards, all 15 gods.
Mm-hmm.
That was something.
It's like 1 in
Was that
10,000
a
packs or something?
Was that like a promotional
I
thing?
watched someone do it. It was amazing, huh?
Was that a promotional thing? I mean, it fits.
It was
15
some
gods,
it was
15
some
cards.
cute thing they did with the set.
Yeah, to promote the set.
yeah,
Not like an
Are
actual
they
printing
foil?
No.
Okay, good.
Unfortunately not.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so good thing coming from the set was Keranos.
Keranos is good.
Keranos
Oh,
is
Keranos is
very
pretty
good.
cool.
Gush City, and
I would say all the gods are playable to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Keranos is amazing.
Farika's one I've heard of, but I've never actually seen.
I've not seen her played as a
Yeah.
head or anything like that.
Yeah,
honestly.
I've heard of a Farika deck out there. I actually started toying with the idea.
What about you, Johnny McGee?
All
What
right,
you
so
got?
I would say that mine probably made a higher percentage of people who played Magic quit Magic than either of yours.
I'm hearing it.
Fallen Empires.
Oh, isn't that that's trash, right?
Wait, that was a set.
hot.
That was a set
You
where
can actually buy packs, I believe, for cheaper than standard packs. And it's
No, I think
still-
it's like $1 a pack. Like that's how trash it is.
Yeah.
Like
It's
a
pretty
box.
It's a set where you had
sealed
multiple
box.
arts of the same card.
You had a lot of multiple arts of the same card.
How old is it?
20 years.
Yeah, 20 years old. I can
So-
buy a sealed box for less than a standard box. Like I've heard. Like
You're probably
Yeah,
that's
like
probably right.
Yeah.
I believe they also had smaller packs. I want to say it was like 8 to 12 cards instead of 15 cards.
yeah.
What the hell, man? It wasn't also like the whole
Is
set
there
like only
anything worth
150
money in
cards.
that?
Yeah, it was a small set. And yeah,
But they inflated the numbers.
So it was
with
between
multiple
this and
arts.
Homelands for me.
Okay.
But Homelands, I believe, didn't have any rares in it, so I almost can't really count that as a set.
It's a supplemental product to your.
And I also feel
core
bad because
set.
I think that they actually took other people who weren't designers from Wizards and they gave them a chance to design cards, and that's what Homelands was.
Oh.
So I feel bad, like trashing
So they-
on
they-
people who that's not even really their
So
job.
You could be working with these people.
Do you,
Sam.
do you know? Do you know where Wizards started? Like what, are they like based out of Seattle?
I mean, that's where they've been based for a really long time. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
So
know.
they
that's what
did they
got there.
scoop up all the
Sorta.
hipsters and like make a set?
No, people who worked for them already, like
Oh, okay.
doing other things.
No, it was like
the
it was like the janitors and stuff like that. They're like,
Hey,
hey, you want to come in here real quick?
You just printed some of the cards. Let's
Yeah,
make a
yeah.
set.
The
Let's make a
guy,
set,
the guy who runs the
boys.
machine and like greases
take
the...
some shots. Let's do it.
They don't print their own cards, but yeah. So,
Wow, way to rain on this parade.
I know. So the best part of Fallen Empires,
The art,
No,
the watercolor. Oh, sorry.
The set symbol.
No, I do like the set symbol.
It's a crown.
The name.
It is.
Ish.
Oh, you could buy packs of Fallen Empires behind the counter at Electronics Boutique.
With chewed gum.
Oh, I'm sorry, Babbage's. Babbage's is what it was called back then.
So
No,
Fallen
that's
Empire's
not it?
best thing about it is it was the first tribal set. It was straight up tribal. They did not choose great tribes. There were a few of them. I mean, they had really strong
Where
merfolk.
the birds came from? The bird
Fish people.
tribal?
They had merfolk. They had goblins. They also, unfortunately, had things like homerids.
Oh, I remember Homer's spawning bed.
You know, and
Cabals.
They had elves in there.
The Thralls.
Thralls were
Thralls.
huge in that
Those
set.
in that, yep.
So they really tried to push the tribal thing. The problem was being such a small set.
Yeah, they fell short.
You can't actually make that many tribes that deep.
Too-
So they were all
It was too thin.
yeah, and a tribal set back when creatures sucked. The whole set sucks
Oh,
because
yeah,
the whole set's
everything
creatures for the most
yeah.
part.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't have that many spells, and even the spells that they did print. No, I mean a couple good High Tide came from there.
Nice. Yeah.
Okay.
Alternate art.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say Ritual of the Machine. I can't think of another good one.
Okay, High Tide it is.
High Tide! Fallen Empire. That's all we got.
Yeah. So there's not much great that came out of it, but I think that the best part was that they were really trying to do something that we saw done better later on in Onslaught Block and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's the best part.
So the big trend where your choices are usually when they broke the mold and did something
exactly,
off the chain.
Yeah. So that was the last question. So to the listeners, comment below. We want to hear your answers to all of these things. Yes, I have heard from Wizards. It's fine to talk about all the answers to these things now that they've already been submitted. Yeah. You're absolutely fine. We're recording after they've been submitted.
No, we're not.
We didn't work together on it either.
3 weeks in the past.
I don't think we could ever come to an agreement.
December 28th, 2017.
Before the questions came out?
Do I need to pull out like a newspaper to confirm like today's date?
That'd be great.
There you go. Here, zoom in on that. There you go.
He's not going to zoom in on it. No.
All right.
But put a picture of something funny right here.
Yeah.
Boom.
Right there.
Right there.
Okay. All right.
A little something for the director. He's probably bored out of his mind.
I'll give him a couple extra chins to work with. Okay. So, all right. So, that's it. Thanks for joining us, guys. Again, thanks to our sponsor, tappedout.net. Go there to check out Mr. Ryan Reese. Or I'm Ryan Reese.
Mr. Ryan Reese.
Mr. Ryan Reese.
It changes every time.
Squire 1.
Once a week.
And Nikki Bolas on Tapped Out. You can check out all of our deck lists and other upcoming content. Share, like, and subscribe on YouTube. And follow us on the normal social media outlets at the Trinisphere.
Just Google it and you'll find it.
The Trinisphere.
We're
everywhere.
No. It's D-A Trinisphere.
It's definitely not that. It's
don't do that. Please don't.
Just Google it normal style. All right. Thanks again, guys, and we will see you next time.
Peace.
Until then, keep brewing, my friends.
Always winning.